Hello YouTube, we're going to play another 10-minute plus 5-second increment game, playing white against martinezperia, rated 1896. So we're going to open with pawn to d4, and knight f3. I like going knight f3 first to not fall into c4 and then the Alban counter gamut, I believe, with e5. Alright, so he's going for knight c6. Looks like the Chigorin Defense. So if I play c4, that transposes into the Chigorin Defense. I'm thinking bishop to f4, because this knight is misplaced. So bishop f4, f6, you still can't play e5. So to prove that this knight is misplaced, I'm just gonna play like this and not really give them pawn to e5. I'll try not to give them pawn to e5. Maybe bishop over here. Yeah. Okay, so he's playing it a bit slower. That's fine with me. Maybe g5. He might castle queenside. That's something I have to keep in mind. I guess for that reason I will delay castling for a little bit. So I won't castle until I know which way he's gonna put his king. So bishop to a4, he's gonna take on c4 and threaten b5. So take and play queen to a4. I'm threatening to take his pawn on c6. And I guess I can play knight bd2 to protect my knight. Then I can play rook to c1 and put pressure on the c file. Okay, so he wants to fix his pawn structure, so if I take, he's going to take with the c pawn, and I don't like that. I think I'll just castle short, because it's clear to me now that he won't castle queenside, and if he takes, I have a larger clamp on e5, and I have the open e-file. He has a backwards pawn here. I think I'll start with rook a to c1 to maybe threaten to win a pawn. It's not really a threat, but for now, the rook is in a good place. Yeah, so my ideas are to take on d5, and put pressure on the e6 pawn. I'm not sure about taking on d5. That's why I was a little bit hesitant. Because then he can take back with the e pawn. Alright, so c takes, e takes. If I have a good, very strong response here, then I can win the game. What I need to do is double on the e file, but that runs into knight f4. I'm sorry, knight f5. But yeah, I need to double on the c file. I mean the e file to put pressure on the pawn and indirectly on the knight. What I would like for him to do is to take on c4. Then I have direct access to all of his weak pawns. But he's not gonna do that. Right, so he's gonna activate his knight. Is he threatening something? Does this change the position? Not really. How does he defend his pawn? Bishop to f7? Yeah, let's make him play bishop to f7. After bishop to f7, he does have ideas now of taking on c4 and playing e5. Discovered attack on my queen, which might complicate things a little bit. I do not want that to happen. Okay. So I have two options here. I can recapture. Then he might play bishop to f7. Or I take on e6. Then he can take on d4. Or play bishop to f7. Yeah, let's not take on e6 yet. So he's gonna play bishop to f7. Then I guess I have to move my queen. But now that he took the pawn, I have the e4 square available for my knight. Oh, this is his idea. Well, I don't want to trade queens, and this is a free pawn. Yeah, I'll take that pawn. I might have missed something with bishop to f7, but hopefully I didn't miss anything. Alright, so currently I'm up 2 pawns. I should do better on the clock, though. Okay, so I'm just up 2 pawns. And I move my knight to a safe square. Let's not think too much about where to put it. Just that I move it. I could play b3 to solidify my extra pawn, depending on if he tries to attack my d pawn. I might go for this line where I take the knight. Yeah. Because that still leaves me with 2 pawns up, and I don't ruin my pawn structure. This bishop is actually trapped. That's very funny. But no, the rook is protecting the b7 square, so it's fine. It can safely retreat to b7. But in response, I play, yeah, or a, of course. Yeah, always bring the rook to the 7th rank if you can. So I'm gonna start attacking the d pawn. If he attacks the c pawn, if he attacks my d pawn, I'm gonna play knight b3. Right, so let's make his pieces as passive as possible, and then bring my king towards the center. Now is my chance to trade minor pieces. Because if he plays rook to b7, I have a fork. I should play b3 to stop counterplay ideas. And then just bring the king to the center. I think this is okay. Making sure his pawn stays weak. I'm not sure if he plays a3 now, then I'll just other calculate. Take here, takes here. My king should be getting there in time. Doesn't go for it. I also have rook here, but I want to guard my center pawn first. Always try to limit your opponent's counterplay. Alright, then I'm just going to bring my A pawn. He might try to annoy me with numerous amount of checks. I would love to bring my king to the c3. But I just think he's going to bring the rook back to b2. Alright. After a4, now I can play rook to f7. I mean f8. Attacking the f5 pawn. Go king here takes. Come on here, take here, back here. King c7. Right, this idea I almost forgot to bring the king closer. So he has to play king to c7. So thankfully he made a huge mistake. And that endgame could have been a draw. Yep. Alright, so let's go over the position. Alright, so the computer thinks that bishop e2 is better. Yeah, because he has bishop takes f3 here, and then e5. And just casting short. So casting short and playing c5, locking down his weaknesses. He should have tried for a counterplay instead of trying to protect his pawn, because his pawns are weak. And if you try to always protect your weak pawns, you're gonna become very passive, and you're gonna end up losing the game anyway. So you just always try to seek active counterplay. So knight b3 to go knight c5 immediately. I didn't see this idea until a couple moves later. Yeah, like I said during the game, I thought he was gonna go bishop to f7 to threaten the pawn on c4. After this, rook here. I guess is just solid. c5. Right. Alright, I played the best move, which is rook takes f5. And rook c5 was better. He plays rook f7 or rook, yeah. I'm not sure about the computer's recommendation. I like rook e7. Yeah, c6 wasn't required. Should have just went for pawn to a3 immediately. Oh, I messed up. The computer recommends going for these pawns. I should have done that. Yeah, the computer recommends going for these pawns. Pushing the pawn is draw. Is a blunder. Is it still winning? Let's go over it. I had a quick 5-second analysis of this endgame. It's Zerq's mine here. Okay, so you take, and then you take the pawn. Uh-huh. If he takes... Yep. Alright, so seeing this endgame was winning, but obviously the move that wins in this endgame is d5. If I play this, it's a different story. And then he played g6, and I just queened. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.